All right, guys, it's Shane Goes with 365 Radio Network, and I'm sitting here today with London's Dungeon. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? So let's introduce everybody.
Hey, I'm Talon. Kurt.
I'm Cody.
I'm London.
Awesome. So who is London's Dungeon? How did you guys get started?
Actually, what happened, Shane, on that was I decided that I wanted to go back into music. It was since I was knee-high to basically whatever. I had a love and a passion for music, and that's what I really wanted to do from the time I was a little kid. Finally, after certain situations in my life, personal life, fell apart, I decided, hey, I'm going to go do what I love, and this is what happened. So we came together, and here we are.
I know you guys have been around for a while, and you kind of took a break there, and now you're back. So tell me about that.
We did. We went through some personnel changes and stuff in the lineup and everything for the better. You know, it gets to a point sometimes where sometimes you just gotta have that break, and we were going and going and going, and you know, just a lot of personal life comes into play when you're doing this. So sometimes you have to take a step back and reevaluate everything, and some people want to stick it out and some people don't. And so here we are, you know, starting back and ready to go.
So as I walked in, I saw you beating on the skin. So tell me a little bit about what you do in the band.
Well, you saw it, and you just said it, man. Pretty much, well, obviously I'm the drummer, you know. London and I have discussed this band actually for a number of years, but due to scheduling conflicts a few years back, I couldn't make it out to Texas at the time, so he had to go the direction he started telling you about. And, you know, just the universe, I guess, came full circle. I was at a studio up in Massachusetts, and things kind of went a little south in the recording studio that day. And London and I were on the phone, and before leaving the studio, I was pretty much on my way to Texas. You know, we had solidified that. And it's a true story. I drove from up there to here.
Awesome.
And you know, we started regrouping and everything, and here we are now. You know, Cody's been with us and stuff since I got here. Thank goodness Kurt's here now. This guy is a phenomenal player and just a great guy. And so everybody's finally on the same page and, you know, want to go the same direction and stuff. And it's really cool and refreshing. You know, it's a lot. It's fun again to go into the rehearsal studio.
Kurt and I we go back a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Kurt, being a bass player, tell me what you do.
Well, I basically was contacted by a mutual contact telling me that they were looking for a permanent bass player, and I've known Talon for many years, and we've paths have crossed and everything, and I've known London for years too. We passed at NAMM and out in Anaheim and stuff, and you know, when kind of that opportunity was presented, I'm like, well, yeah, it makes sense to me because I know these guys, I know what they want to do. We're all kind of with the exception of the youngster here, we're all kind of in the same age and the kind of same space, I guess, in our lives. If that makes sense. So it just made sense to me. I had taken some time off as well, pursuing some other things. I work for Warren Star Clothing. Right. They keep me really busy, thankfully, and you know, so I just took a little break, and this was a perfect opportunity that came along at the right time. It hit me at the right time, and I took it. So I'm glad I did. It's been great. The rehearsals have been awesome. We're playing a show tonight at the Rail Club with Killer Dwarfs and Juan Crocier and Rat and Blackout and Legacy and Rise Above. It's going to be a great night, and so it'll be cool. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, Cody, tell me about your part in the whole scheme of things.
Well, I play guitar. I've known London for several years now, ever since I was probably about 21, 22 when I met him. I came down, wanted to hang out a little bit, saw their band. I was like, man, this dude's a badass singer. You know, and I'm a singer. I'm a singer too, as well. I've been doing it music. I'm 27 now, but I've been doing it professionally since I was 15, and I played in a number of different bands, a number of different styles, and I've always been like a real blues guy and all that. But I've always wanted to play in a band where I can just kick back and just be like, the Jimmy Page of the band.
Right.
Don't have to sing, man. Just play guitar. And then sure enough, London and
Don't get it wrong, he sings.
but like London, and then our manager Angie, they contacted me, wanted to give me a shot because they were looking for a new guitar player. And sure enough, I came over and started hanging out and playing around with them. And, here I am now.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys, like I said, have been around a while, and I first heard you a few years ago through a mutual friend, and I was literally just blown away.
Oh, wow, thank
I was
you.
like, there's down in Fort Worth is notorious for metal and all that, but you guys are way different than that. You've got that solid rock and roll, going on. So let's talk about your style and how you kind of developed that.
I'm a fan. I got to be honest with you. It was told to me one time there's only two types of music, good or bad, and we love that, and that's the truth. So we wanted something, personally myself, when I started, the concept of LD and before it came to light or whatever, I wanted to be not that band that you couldn't understand what we were singing or talking about, or the storyline or the punchline. It had to be some really, reputable stuff as far as like the good grooves, the hooks, and lyrical content that you could actually understand.
Right.
And you're right, there is a lot of the, I don't even know what to call it, death metal, doom metal type stuff around here, and we love those guys. Okay, we absolutely are friends with a lot of those bands, and we love them and support them as well. And that's their style. We just needed to go I needed to go a different direction, and this is what it came out to be. But there's something in LD with our songs that appeals to people differently.
Right.
So it's it's been kind of interesting to watch how people reacted to it.
Well, I know you guys have a pretty solid fan base, so I hear people talk about you guys all the time.
We're very blessed.
Yes.
Very blessed.
So when you come up with a song or an idea for a song, who generally brings that to the table?
As far as lyrical content or riffs
The song itself, the song idea.
I leave all the musical aspirations to these guys right here because they are the talent. As far as those instruments, it's not my forte. Collectively, we are fixing to start doing some new stuff. So we will be writing together. Musically and lyrically, and just putting a new stamp and a new twist on some things. So we're looking very, very forward to being able to sit down and take some time to do that and get some new, fresh stuff out there for everybody.
Right. Well, when you do get some new stuff, let us get all of it so we
Absolutely.
can put it on the air.
And
Most definitely. So, like I said, a ton of times, you guys have been around a while, and the stuff that's out there available to listen digitally, there's only a couple of songs. Nation.
Right. We have. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry. I was just saying on that note, we're actually going to the studio right when we get done a couple of shows here, and we got called to California, so that kind of. In a month or so that kind of put our studio on hold for a minute. And but as soon as we come back, we're extremely anxious to get right in there.
Yeah, very good.
And we already got a couple things that we're going to put on. We're going to track right away when we get in there, and hopefully have a couple more by the time we get there as well.
So, as the drummer, what are some of your influences as a musician?
You'd be surprised. Well, like some of the albums that are sitting right over there, they're just off camera. Let's see. There is April Wine over there. There's Iron Maiden. There's even the Split Ends, which is just an LP that I just found in a stash of records the other day. Mostly the 80s stuff, you know, because I spent quite a bit of time growing up in California and everything, and I've lived all over. But that's where my biggest influence were. You know, pretty much whatever you're listening to in high school is usually what sticks with you. And so all the sleaze rock and, you know, that kind of thing. Behind us, again, off camera, is an LA Guns banner. And, you know, like LA Guns, Faster Pussycat, all those cats. You know, the Killer Dwarfs, like we're going to play with tonight and stuff. Juan, I mean, you know, exactly. Just all those guys. Besides the music, you know, the majority of them are just great guys.
Right.
You know, they're cool.
Right.
They all hang out at the Rainbow like on Friday and Saturday night and things like that. So you get to know them after a while, most of them anyway.
That's awesome. Well, Kurt and I have had a conversation about 2 years ago almost.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a bass player, what are some of your influences?
Oh, it's all over the map. I mean, I love, I'm a classic rock junkie. I just love, you know, Zeppelin and Aerosmith and the Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner. And, you know, I'm just, I love that stuff. I love, there's really not too much I don't like. I mean, influences: David Ellefson from Megadeth, Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue, Gene Simmons, Kiss. Just solid players. I don't want to be a lead bass player in a band. I think the bass is there to hold the fort down and look cool and look like a badass up on stage, you know. So I try to attempt that every night. But yeah, I grew up like Colin on all the, you know, Motley Crue and the Rat and the LA Guns and Cinderella and all that stuff, and I love that stuff, and I'm glad to see it coming back around again, making another turn. And I like heavy metal too, obviously.
Right.
You know, I love the heavy stuff: Machine Head, Devil Driver,
Right.
you know, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, just all. It's all good to me, you know, and so that's kind of where I try to draw something from everything, you know, and I've kind of played a little bit of everything, so
Right.
it kind of all falls in together eventually.
Right, exactly. Awesome. Cody, what are your influences as the guitar player?
Man, anything hard rock and heavy metal, but blues. Honestly, I'm a blues guy. I feel like should have been born in a different time period. Honestly, 70s, especially. But I don't know. I'd probably say hands down, the number one guitar players that really shaped the way I play would be, you know, Ace Frehley, Jimmy Page, Joe Perry, Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden, Keith Richards, Keith Urban, actually, Tom Kiefer, different cats like that. But also, I love a lot of the. Also, a lot of my favorite artists are the ones that just they're multi-instrumentalists.
Right.
You know, singer-songwriters. You know, Prince, Lenny Kravitz. You know, they're all geniuses, man. But you know, just anything like that. Mainly 70s, early 80s stuff. You know.
So, as the singer,
You want to know, man? I don't even know where to begin. I tell you, I've had a lot of influences. I was a big fan of Jani Lane, like Jani Lane of Warrant. I just liked his style of writing. He could come out, tell a story, and just make it, you know, blow your mind, basically. Right. All the way to the old school stuff. You know, I like some Led Zeppelin. I like some Stones and stuff like that. So it's just Bach, you know, Sebastian Bach is another influential guy. I don't have one particular person, but if I had to pick one, I'd have to say Jani Lane, just because of his influential way that he wrote a storyline in a song. And it just reached out and grabbed you, you know, and the rest of the guys in that band just knew what they were doing, man. They all came together and just totally could captivate you with the lyrical content if you listen to the lyrical content.
They have some pretty powerful songs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, besides the two, you say you're going to get ready to release some stuff on Reverb Nation and so forth. Is there anywhere else that we can find London Dungeon music?
Good question, guys.
Go ahead.
Only one. I mean, Reverb Nation. is really the only, we got the samples there, but really live is about the only way you're gonna hear us right now.
Until we get the new stuff out.
Until we get the new
yeah.
stuff together, but that's, you know, that's what we gotta do.
The new sound is just, I don't want to say harder, faster, more to quote a record that but
Heavy
it's
version of
definitely,
Aerosmith.
yeah,
You know?
it just sounds bigger. I don't know how else to describe it other than it just sounds so much bigger than the previous stuff did. Not to take away from this stuff, you know, where LD started.
Right.
This new stuff
But
is more rock and roll.
It has evolved
Yeah.
in a way. You know, the music has matured a bit.
Right. Well, I know when I walked in, you guys were jamming. I was like, wow, this is really good. You know, you can actually feel the music.
Oh wow.
You know, that's just awesome.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, it's huge, isn't it? There's a lot of
Appreciate
sound.
that.
It's only my third day with the band.
Well, I'll say that you pretty much nailed it. So,
No, thank you. No, it's cool.
so I'm gonna wrap this up, but I do want to
Yeah.
come back later, at a
Sure.
later time, to discuss the new stuff that's out,
Absolutely.
and hopefully come to a couple of shows. So, but anyway, thank you for this time. Thank you for the
Yeah,
opportunity,
thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
And we'll get this out here pretty soon, so it'll be available for everybody to see.
Right on, man.
Back,
Thank
appreciate
you very
you.
much.
Man.
Yes.